Okay, here's the template for this week's packet tracer assignment. Basically, your job is to come up with some IP addressing for each of the different subnets. I've created colored boxes to try to help you out with that. So we need a subnet for all the routers, a subnet for this PC over here in this router interface, a subnet for this PC in this router interface, and then these two routers, these interfaces need to be configured for inter-VLAN routing, which, as you hopefully should know or are starting to learn, means you need to do the create sub interfaces using encapsulation command. It needs to be connected to a trunk port on the switch for both of these interfaces on the routers. As far as the switch configs go, these two switches don't need any config. You can leave them in their default state. These switches will need to have VLANs created, one VLAN for this subnet, one VLAN for that subnet, a different VLAN for this subnet, a different VLAN for that subnet. And then trunking for the router port. We don't need any VLAN interface IP addresses on any of the switches this week. For the routers, you're going to need to configure the interfaces to have the IP addresses in the particular subnet you come up with, and then you're going to need to configure a routing protocol. I believe I specified OSPF should be used for that. So the requirement for the subnets is that you cannot use the same prefix length more than once. So you can't make everything a /24. You should also use private addresses for everything, so you can make them all something different if you want, like 192.168.1 dot something over here, 192.168.2 dot something, 192.168.3 dot something, or you could try to be a little more precise and figure out where the subnet you create here ends and start this subnet there. But that's not a requirement today. Today's requirement is you can't use the same prefix length more than once, and you should use private addressing, RFC 1918 private addresses on everything. So that's the requirements, and hopefully some feedback. I guess it's not feedback if I give it to you before you do it. Hopefully some helpful hints to help you be successful in completing this week's packet tracer assignment.